You recently said you were single and celibate until God sent a husband. What's up with that?
I'm single. I ain't worried about no right now.
You celibate or you selling it? The world wants to know.
Wait, hold up. Is there actually some real tension brewing between Sexyy Red and GloRilla right now? Everybody has watched these two take over the charts and show each other major love, from What You Know About Me to linking up on Tyler, the Creator's Sticky. For a minute, they seemed to be everywhere together, turning up, supporting each other, and bringing that wild, sister-like energy fans loved. But lately, people in the comments have been asking the same question. What happened to that natural chemistry between them? Because something definitely feels different from the outside looking in. Fans have noticed the vibe doesn't seem quite as close as before, and now the internet is running wild with theories about what could have changed. And this is where the tea starts getting extra messy. There are two big rumors floating around online, although neither should be treated as confirmed. One theory claims some personal relationship drama may have created tension between them. The other rumor, supposedly coming from people said to be connected to GloRilla's circle, points the finger at Sexyy Red and claims there may have been issues behind the scenes. Again, that's internet talk, not a confirmed fact, but it's definitely got people asking questions. Now, here's where the allegations start getting even messier. Some online chatter claims Sexyy Red's team may have been trying to slow down GloRilla's momentum, supposedly playing industry gatekeeper and delaying possible collaborations because they didn't want Red getting overshadowed. That's a pretty serious claim, though, and there's no reason to treat internet speculation like confirmed facts. Still, people have been talking about this theory for a minute, so let's break down where all this noise is coming from. When Sexyy Red first started making major waves in the industry, people online were quick to compare her with GloRilla. Some fans even pushed the idea that Sexyy had stepped into Glo's lane and was starting to move past her. Before long, social media turned those comparisons into a full competition, making it seem like the two rappers had some major issue with each other. But instead of feeding into that narrative, GloRilla and Sexyy Red appeared to do the exact opposite. They publicly supported each other, showed up together, joked about the supposed rivalry, and made it look like all that online drama was way more exaggerated than people thought. For a while, they seemed determined to show everybody that the internet's version of their relationship didn't match what fans were actually seeing from them. They really used to match each other's wild energy everywhere they went. At events, they'd pose together, play games, joke around during joint red carpet interviews, and hype up each other's outfits right in front of the cameras. Even after the main events wrapped up, they were often spotted chilling backstage, popping up on Instagram stories, and turning up at the same tables. From the outside, it looked like they genuinely enjoyed being around each other. And that support carried over into the music too. Whenever one of them dropped a new single, album, or big campaign, the other would often be right there showing love, reposting it, throwing fire emojis in the comments, encouraging fans to stream, and speaking positively about working together. They weren't exactly being quiet about their support for each other. But here's where people started noticing something interesting. Some fans felt like the two would sometimes go extra hard to shut down any rivalry talk. Whenever a shady post or new rumor started making rounds online, they could quickly jump on social media, call out what they believed were fake stories, and make it crystal clear that there wasn't any issue. Then, before long, blogs would have fresh clips or pictures of them hanging out again. For example, remember that screenshot that started making the rounds online, where it looked like Sexyy Red had commented on Glo's TikTok saying, let's be sister wives," while Glo was dancing with NBA player Brandon Ingram? That screenshot got people talking fast, but Glo shut the whole thing down almost immediately, saying, "That's fake, stop playing with me." Then Sexyy responded on X, saying she wasn't even going to address it, while calling the person who allegedly created it hella lame and weird.
GloRilla, she's been missing in action, and you damn near making love songs like they trying to hear that from you, GloRilla. They done moved on to Sexyy Red. She's a new hot chick in town. She's showing herself without the makeup, without the hair. But you know what I say? This is a real, and I know that when she's talking that shit on the record, that's her.
For seemingly trying to manufacture tension between them. At that point, they appeared determined to show fans that random internet drama wasn't about to change their friendship. And if you watch their joint XXL interview, their chemistry definitely stood out. GloRilla and Sexyy Red didn't come across like two artists simply showing up together for a quick industry moment. They openly gave fans the impression that their bond was genuinely close. But then social media started doing what social media does. After clips circulated of them dancing together, holding hands on red carpets, and referring to each other as sisters, some fans started reading way deeper into their friendship. Soon, theories popped up claiming their connection might be more personal than they publicly showed. However, those were fan theories and online speculation, not something that should be treated as confirmed. In fact, some fans took the speculation even further, trying to connect their public dating lives to theories about what their friendship supposedly looked like behind the scenes. But there's no solid confirmation for those claims, so that part stays firmly in internet rumor territory. What's more interesting is the shift some viewers believe they've noticed during GloRilla and Sexyy Red's more recent appearances together. If you compare certain newer interviews and public moments with their older clips, some fans say the energy feels different. What once seemed completely spontaneous and effortless now gets picked apart online, with every look, reaction, and awkward moment becoming evidence for somebody's latest theory. And naturally, anonymous insider chatter has only made those rumors louder, even though those claims remain unverified. Here's where the business side becomes important. GloRilla and Sexyy Red became two huge names in a similar lane of loud, unapologetic, high-energy rap. That meant overlapping audiences, major opportunities, appearances, and potential brand deals. In an industry where artists can compete for some of the same opportunities, even a genuine friendship can face pressure. And that's exactly why some people believe there could now be quiet competition between Glo and Red. Early on, though, teaming up on records like What You Know About Me seemed to benefit both artists. Or even jumping on Tyler, the Creator's Sticky, those collaborations looked like a win for everybody, because both artists got more attention. But once GloRilla and Sexyy Red reached a much bigger level, fans started wondering whether that friendly collaboration could eventually turn into serious competition. At the top, there are only so many major features, festival spots, awards, and headline opportunities to go around. And this is where the business side gets complicated. Online reports and fan theories have suggested that the two artists are surrounded by completely different industry teams with their own goals. GloRilla has strong connections through Yo Gotti's CMG and Interscope, giving her serious backing in Southern hip-hop. Sexyy Red came up with her own St. Louis style and has worked with Gamma, while also getting major attention through collaborations with huge names like Drake. So even if the artists themselves are cool, their business interests can still overlap. Different labels and management teams naturally want the biggest opportunities possible for their own artist. That means competing for radio play, playlist placement, major features, chart positions, awards recognition, and those valuable festival slots. And that's why some fans believe there could be pressure happening behind the scenes. It doesn't automatically mean Glo and Red personally have an issue, but when two major artists are chasing some of the same opportunities, the business around them can make things complicated fast. And over time, that kind of business pressure can definitely create tension. Fans also haven't forgotten that more than a year ago, GloRilla and Sexyy Red were teasing the possibility of a full joint mixtape. Fast forward to now, and both artists have been focused heavily on their own music, separate performances, and individual career moves, while that rumored joint project still hasn't arrived. Naturally, people are asking what happened, but some online chatter takes the story way further than simple scheduling issues. Unverified claims supposedly connected to people around GloRilla have tried to place more responsibility on Sexyy Red's side, suggesting there may have been disagreements over how certain opportunities and collaborations were handled behind the scenes. Again, there's no solid proof establishing that Sexyy or her team.
How this record came together too, because I think this is gonna be a big one off the album.
So I had already did the song over there, but I just had it, and I'm like, I think a feature should be on her. And me and Sexyy, we ended up working together in Atlanta to just work on another song. Like, we were just in the studio trying to find the right beat. Like, I think we both were kind of in there overthinking a little bit. We like, what? Like, they expected me and you to make a song. Like, what we gonna do?
Intentionally tried to hold Glo back, so those accusations should stay exactly where they belong, in the rumor category. Then there's the debate over their completely different approaches to rap. Glo built her name through the Memphis scene, with records like Tomorrow 2 and Yeah Glo helping showcase her delivery and mainstream appeal. Sexyy Red's rise, meanwhile, has been strongly connected to viral records, instantly recognizable hooks, and her St. Louis personality. Some fans argue those different styles could affect their careers differently over time, but that's opinion, not proof that either artist or their team sees the other as a threat. Because of those different career paths, some fans have started pushing the theory that Red's team could feel pressure to keep her momentum going strong. The idea floating around online is that Glo may have more long-term staying power, while Red's team supposedly wants to make sure she remains front and center. But that's still speculation, and there's no verified proof that either side is deliberately blocking opportunities or trying to push the other artist aside. Still, if there really are disagreements over collaborations, bookings, or business decisions, fans believe that could explain why the energy between them seems different lately. What started as two artists being constantly linked together could naturally become more complicated once separate teams, schedules, and career goals enter the picture. But then another theory started taking over the comment sections. Instead of focusing on label politics or debates about rap ability, some viewers began wondering whether their friendship simply became more complicated behind the scenes. Fans pointed to their playful dancing, holding hands on red carpets, and joking around during interviews as reasons for their theories. That doesn't confirm anything romantic, though. Those moments can easily happen between close friends, and neither artist should have their private life turned into a fact based purely on social media guesses. Still, with people already searching for an explanation for the supposed change in their chemistry, every old clip is suddenly being watched again and analyzed differently. And once fans started going back through those older clips, they noticed something else. The biggest difference wasn't necessarily what GloRilla or Sexyy Red were saying. It was how often they were being seen together compared with before. There was a time when one event could give fans multiple videos of them joking backstage, dancing around, taking pictures, and casually popping up in each other's content. Now, every little gap between appearances gets treated like it means something deeper. That's where social media can make things tricky. Two artists can simply be busy with separate albums, performances, campaigns, and personal schedules, but online detectives will still compare body language, facial expressions, reposts, likes, and even who didn't comment on somebody's latest post. Suddenly, something as simple as not appearing together becomes part of a much bigger theory. And there's another detail people have been watching closely: public support. Fans who remember how quickly Glo and Red used to hype each other's releases have started paying attention to whether that same level of interaction is still happening. A missing repost or comment doesn't prove there's tension, but when people already suspect something changed, even small details start looking suspicious. That makes their next public interaction especially interesting.
So we started on this other song, and this song is good, but I'm like, you know what? I forgot I got this song. I just did this Wipe Me Down. I said, I think I want you to be on there. Like, I'm put a verse on her. She was like, okay, cool. She liked the song, and then she had did while she was on.
Because people aren't just watching what they say anymore. They're watching how they move around each other. And that's exactly why every new appearance now gets examined frame by frame. If GloRilla and Sexyy Red end up at the same awards show, festival, or industry event, people immediately start looking for signs. Did they take pictures together? Did they acknowledge each other? Were they standing near each other backstage? Something that nobody would have questioned before can suddenly become a whole discussion. But there's a major problem with reading too much into those moments. Public events are controlled by packed schedules, security, management, photographers, interviews, and dozens of other moving pieces. Two artists being in the same building without getting a picture together doesn't automatically mean they're avoiding each other. At the same time, fans remember how naturally Glo and Red used to find their way into each other's content, which is why any noticeable distance gets attention. Then you have the business moves happening separately. Both women are building their own identities instead of constantly being packaged together as a duo. That means separate collaborations, different promotional strategies, individual performances, and teams making decisions based on what works best for each career. And this is where the situation gets more complicated. Because being friendly personally doesn't mean every business decision has to benefit both sides. Once money, scheduling, features, and major opportunities enter the picture, even a strong friendship can have boundaries that fans never get to see. The real question becomes, what happens when one opportunity lands on the table and both camps want it? And when that one opportunity can mean a major feature, a bigger festival position, or a high-paying brand campaign, things can get complicated fast. Labels and management teams aren't looking at friendship the same way fans are. Their job is to push their own artist forward, negotiate the strongest deal, and make sure somebody else doesn't walk away with an opportunity they could have landed. That's why some of the supposed beef people are noticing could simply be professional competition. GloRilla and Sexyy Red can support each other personally while still chasing many of the same stages, playlists, collaborations, and audiences. Those two things don't automatically cancel each other out. But fans have also started paying attention to something beyond photos and social media comments: the way both artists are being positioned individually. Glo's image has increasingly highlighted her growth as a rapper and major solo performer, while Sexyy continues leaning into the unpredictable personality and instantly recognizable style that helped make her a huge name. Instead of looking like one package, they're becoming two clearly separate brands. And that separation matters, because once each artist has her own lane to protect, every collaboration has to make business sense instead of happening just because they're cool. A joint song, tour appearance, or project can involve negotiations over billing, promotion, timing, and who gets what spotlight. So if that long-teased joint project ever reached serious discussions, there would have been a lot more happening behind the scenes than simply choosing beats and recording verses. And that's the part fans rarely get to see. A joint project sounds simple from the outside. Get in the studio, record the songs, pick a release date, and drop it. But once two successful artists have different labels, managers, producers, schedules, and promotional plans involved, every decision can turn into a serious negotiation. Who gets top billing? Which label controls the rollout? Who chooses the singles? How are streaming numbers, marketing costs, and touring opportunities handled? Even the timing can become an issue if one artist already has a solo album or major campaign lined up. None of that automatically means there's personal drama, but it could explain why a project that once sounded exciting suddenly stops being mentioned. And this is where those earlier rumors become easy for people to believe. If fans were expecting a GloRilla and Sexyy Red project and then watched both artists move deeper into separate solo runs, the silence leaves a huge empty space for speculation. People start filling in the blanks themselves, even without receipts. What makes it even more interesting is that neither woman needs the other to keep moving. Both have already built recognizable names, strong fan bases, and their own identities. That changes the balance completely, compared with when linking up could give both sides an extra boost. So if somebody eventually brings that joint project back to the table, it won't just be about whether Glo and Red still get along. Their teams would have to agree on exactly how the partnership works, and that's where one small disagreement could suddenly become a much bigger issue.
They're asking us to do a joint mixtape together. How would Glo and Sexyy project sound to you?
Shit is fuck.
Yeah, that is rest.
It's gonna be some super rapping shit. Don't hate us.
No,
I mean,
I
the
think
men
they'll
gonna-
love it. I think they'll love it.
You think so?
Because we both French certified. You know, two young ladies.
You know how we talk. Like,
Yeah, that's
when
what I'm saying.
When I first came out with Ip and Nip, they was like, "Who is this talking about?" Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you snapped out with.
And one small disagreement doesn't even have to start between GloRilla and Sexyy Red themselves. It could come from management, scheduling, money, creative control, or somebody on either side simply deciding that a certain move doesn't benefit their artist. But once that decision becomes visible to fans, the internet can turn a basic business call into something way more dramatic. That's especially true when people are already expecting tension. A delayed collaboration suddenly looks suspicious. One artist announcing a major feature without the other gets analyzed. Even a harmless interview answer can get chopped into a 10-second clip, posted without context, and turned into supposed proof that somebody threw shade. And that's where the blogs enter the picture. A headline suggesting Glo ignored Red, or Red avoided Glo, can travel way faster than the full video showing what actually happened. Then, fans pick sides, comment sections get heated, and suddenly both artists are being pushed into a rivalry they may never have personally confirmed. The wild part is that responding can sometimes make the situation even harder to read. If they address every rumor, people say they're trying too hard to prove everything is fine. If they stay quiet, that silence gets treated like confirmation. Either way, somebody online is going to build a theory around it. But there is one thing that would be much harder to explain away than likes, reposts, or awkward clips. And that's if the music itself started sounding different, especially if either artist dropped lines that fans believed were aimed at somebody specific. And that's where fans would really start paying attention. In rap, one slick line can have people pulling out screenshots, old interviews, and timelines within minutes. A lyric doesn't even have to mention somebody by name. If it talks about fake support, competition, switching sides, or somebody trying to block another person's shine, listeners can quickly decide they know exactly who the message is supposedly aimed at. But that's also where things can get misleading. Artists rap about competition all the time, and not every tough line is a hidden message toward another rapper. Unless GloRilla or Sexyy Red directly names the other or clearly confirms what a lyric means, connecting random bars to this rumored tension would mostly be fan interpretation. Still, people are watching their upcoming music differently now. Instead of simply listening for catchy hooks and hard verses, some fans are checking every line for possible clues. Even a normal confidence bar could suddenly get clipped on social media with a caption claiming, "This has to be about her." And imagine what happens if one of them releases a song containing a line that sounds just specific enough to fit the rumors. Blogs could immediately connect it to the delayed joint project, the separate career moves, and all those older clips fans have been revisiting. But lyrics aren't the only place where people search for hidden messages. Interviews can reveal even more, especially when an artist gets asked a simple question about somebody they used to publicly support, and their answer suddenly sounds noticeably different, and that's when the smallest interview answer can suddenly carry a lot of weight. Imagine either GloRilla or Sexyy Red getting asked about the other, and instead of giving the same excited response fans remember, the answer becomes short, careful, and strictly professional. Something as basic as, "she doing her thing," could have people instantly wondering why the energy feels different. But context matters here. Artists can be tired, rushed, distracted, or simply ready to stop answering the same questions. A 5-second response isn't automatic proof of tension. Still, when fans already have a whole timeline in their heads, a change in tone can look way more meaningful than it actually is. There's also the possibility that both women simply want their interviews to focus on their individual careers. Glo doesn't need every conversation turned into a question about Red, and Red doesn't need every appearance connected back to Glo. As their careers grow separately, creating some public distance could be a business decision rather than a personal one. But here's where an interviewer could really make things uncomfortable. All it takes is one direct question about that long-teased joint project. Is it still happening? If the response is vague, fans will analyze it. If somebody says plans changed, they'll want to know why. And if either artist avoids the question completely, people will start digging even harder. Because behind that abandoned project question sits another detail that hasn't been fully addressed yet. Who actually benefits the most if GloRilla and Sexyy Red stop being marketed as a package? So after everything we've looked at, what's really happening between GloRilla and Sexyy Red? Maybe there has been a subtle shift behind the scenes, or maybe fans are reading way too much into two artists who are busy building massive careers of their own. The missing collaborations, separate career moves, quieter public interactions, and all those little moments people keep analyzing can definitely make the situation look suspicious. But none of that automatically proves there's real beef. And what about those claims surrounding their teams? Do you believe there's genuine competition happening behind the scenes over opportunities, positioning, and who gets the bigger spotlight? Or are people simply turning normal music industry competition into something way more personal than it actually is? Because without either Glo or Red directly confirming a problem, claims about one side deliberately trying to hold the other back remain exactly that, claims. There's also another possibility that might be much simpler. Maybe these two really are still cool, but they've reached a point where they don't need to constantly prove their friendship to everybody watching. Two artists can support each other while building separate brands, chasing different opportunities, and spending less time together publicly. But I want to know where you stand. Do you think something genuinely changed between GloRilla and Sexyy Red, or has the internet created a whole beef out of normal career moves? Drop your take in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the breakdown, make sure you like, subscribe, share the video, and comment with your theory. I'll catch you in the next one.